Blueface went online and made this wild allegation that went viral that said that you and Offset had slept together behind Cardi's back. You haven't talked about it. Cardi hasn't talked about it.
She responded and said she didn't know if it was true or not, and she said that's me and him is broken up. That's what she said.
Right.
Let's go over one of the most embarrassing rumors that occurred in the last year. Social media was buzzing with this kind of news. When December arrives, Blueface unexpectedly appears. He said that Offset and Chrisean Rock had been having an affair. Everyone at the time rolled their eyes. Being himself, clumsy as ever, and flaunting his baby mama in public is what Blueface does best. The twist, though, is this. People may have been a little more willing to acknowledge the legitimacy of what they dismissed as clout-chasing.
You guys didn't notice, like, Hispanics are just way more popping. Like, Cardi B, Chrisean, come on. And then you was a home wrecker, so it's like, you try to home wreck Cardi B shit because you want to be like her. So it's like, what did you say? You left your earring or your ring on purpose so Cardi could see it? Oh yeah, that's when I went all out. What was that shit? That's when I was like, we committing adultery now? Oh girl, that's not God. That's how I knew how to cut people.
Rumor has it that as time has passed, Chrisean has begun to reveal more. This is considerably more juicy because of the purported cause, retribution. Not only retaliation against Offset but also against Cardi B. You can see that the first smoke rose when one of Chrisean's old best friends, Jana, went live and offered tea that she said came directly from Chrisean's mouth. According to her, Chrisean boasted about dating Offset. Additionally, he and Cardi lived together. Chrisean also left her jewelry there on purpose, according to Jana, so Cardi would discover it and go crazy. It wasn't a passing fancy if that's accurate. That was a well-considered move. At a crime scene, a house wreckers calling card is left as evidence. People were drawn to Jana immediately because the internet is the internet. She was said to be bitter, clingy, and envious of Chrisean's reputation.
Because I've been single for a minute now, but I have been afraid to I'm not afraid, I just don't know how to tell the world. But I feel like today has been like a sign. The last time I got on live, I kind of wanted you guys to tell you. I kind of wanted to tell you guys, but I didn't know how to tell you. So I was like, I changed my mind. But it has been like this for a minute now, and I just took it as a sign. So I wanna start 2024 fresh, open. I don't know. I'm curious for a new life, for a new beginning, and yeah, I'm excited to put me.
She was merely attempting to link her name to Cardi B's drama, according to some. However, Blueface intervened with a biting tweet before the dust could settle. The essence of his statement was, "Don't assume Chrisean is loyal just because she tattooed his face on hers a few weeks ago." That same girl had been in Offset's bed, he claimed. In particular, he said he was sick of folks staring at him while they were beating her. Unless you're in a downward spiral or preparing to take action, you shouldn't tweet that kind of thing. Naturally, Chrisean was not going to let that story go unpunished. She disputed the charges and changed the course of events in her online response. In her attack, she revealed Blueface's purported porn searches and accused him of chasing Aunt Alchoa's baby mother. Instead, she says, she covered up his tattoo on her body because she didn't want to go around with a burning ninja around her neck, not because she was angry. As she put it, Blueface wasn't exposing her. He was losing his temper because she was too familiar with him. Blueface, however, took the lead. He stated that he hooked up with Offset at Card's home in Los Angeles on November 10th at 4 a.m., claiming to be telling the truth and providing a precise time and date. You stop at such a very detailed detail. He was either fabricating this whole thing or had been in close enough proximity to the event to have receipts. His words caused the internet to do what it normally does. As an accompaniment to the activity, it was like gospel. Offset could not, of course, remain silent. There had already been enough public upheavals in his marriage to Cardi, and this story just fueled the fires. He went on the internet, categorically denied everything, and claimed that he had never even spoken to or touched Chrisean. Man, this is serious business. The show ended with him writing, "You need help." However, Blueface was far from finished. One final shot came back at him. If the reality is depressing you, into
your ops. That's one for your ops. Yeah, of course, because you don't move with integrity. You're not a street. That's what you do. That's what you do. Oh, I'm gonna go for your ops. Good. God don't give a fuck. You can fuck my ops, you fuck my friends, nigga. I don't give a shit. You're a lame to me, and you will never equate to me. And it's crazy that I even let you even play with me for such a long time, because you're not even a real right to me. I make you look good. You. Oh, look at the jumping. I don't care. Look at them. I'm gonna follow your ups. Matter of fact, oh, look at this. I don't want to see it. So what? You was gonna film anyways. All you gotta do is get drunk, and I'm gonna throw you that pussy for $2,000. You gotta survive out here. Bitches gotta survive out here, nigga. Oh, now I'm of them. Now I'm of this. Okay, you could do that. You was gonna do it regardless. You go to a club and you probably get drunk. You give them $2,000. You was gonna do it regardless. Them gotta survive. These hungry.
You feel embarrassed by your life. The line that was ultimately incorporated into the gossip legend was then added by him. I swear to my dear that I won't lie. I'll confess if I hit it. Cardi B was following the entire incident as it was happening in the meantime. The optics, whether she liked it or not, were dreadful. She unfollowed Offset on Instagram shortly after, astute admirers noticed. Obscene remarks and cryptic posts about being dead weight and unmarried followed. Later, in a live webcast, she alluded to what many had assumed, that she had been apart from Offset for some time. But she hadn't stated it aloud. As she considered how to notify her admirers, she acknowledged that she had been holding the truth to herself, and said the situation seemed like the world forcing her to come clean. Let's now make the connection. The fact that everyone laughs off Blueface's accusation feeds the fire. Jana, the former best friend, provided complex background knowledge, which is referred to as cloud chasing. Cardi begins to behave like a lady who is already over it. Offset denies everything and Crosh's defends himself. Regardless of whether the relationship was real or not, the fallout speaks for itself. It appeared that Cardi and Offset's relationship was irreparably ruined, while Chrisean's reputation was harmed by another tabloid. Blueface took away the attention he so desperately desired. What was most surprising was the notion that, if this were to occur, it wouldn't be scandal for the sake of scandal. Chrisean was driven by payback, specifically a personal vendetta against Cardi, according to recent accusations. Furthermore, this was not another awkward hip-hop drama if that is the case. The act was sabotage. The messy standards were not met by numerous publications about celebrity scandals, industrial rivalry, betrayal, retaliation, leaked receipts, and the gradual breakdown of a well-known marriage. This piece, however, covered all of that and more regarding Offset's alleged affair with Chrisean Rock. People thought the drama was over, but new information, leaks, and Wack 100's mouth have brought the whole thing back into the public eye. The fact that this was more than just a rumor means that we need to start at the beginning. Wack 100 started off with a mysterious message because he never encountered a pot that he didn't stir. In a mocking tweet directed to Offset, he said, "You don't know the difference between a shack and a castle." In other words, Cardi B was the castle. The shack's name was Con Rock, and Offset didn't seem to be able to remember the difference between the two. The lengthy, rambling speech, Wack later acknowledged, had nothing to do with the information he was waiting on. He says there may have been some facts that destroyed Offset's marriage. According to Wack, he actually saved Offset by preventing the publicity. He said that Cardi's family personally called him and begged him to disregard it. He also talked about a call he got from a man called Miradamo, who begged Wack to bury the receipts for Cardi's sake, and for an instant it seems that he might have. However, one characteristic of Wack 100 is that he typically waits for the ideal moment to bury something, before awkwardly bringing it back up. When Blueface felt he could continue no longer without a response, things became heated, using photos, texts, receipts, and everything else he could find to support his claims. He launched a full-scale smear campaign, accusing her of having an affair with Offset. He was already incensed at Chrisean for making him look foolish in public. Offset and Blue were present at French Montana's birthday party on the night of the hookup. According to Blue.
You know what I said about Offset? Offset was mad about his wife, sent them threats. That's why. So you know, we had somebody just tap on his shoulder and let him know he's touchable. So you know, we're not worried about Offset no more. That's why. That's why Wack posted what he posted. And yeah, alright. I'm the big bad wolf, schoolyard crip. Yeah, homies. Welcome to the circus, kid. That's why.
Offset had evidence of their chats, according to Blueface, who claimed that she had left the event with him. The phone suddenly began to ring, but it wasn't Cardi or his entourage. Instead, he was held responsible for Blueface's post by Wack 100, who accused him of being in a panic. According to reports, Offset told Wack that the act was ruining his marriage and involving Cardi, so he wanted it to end right away. He warned Blueface, according to Wack, that disclosing someone else's personal information in this way wasn't bro code. Blue, however, had a chilly answer. He's in the circus if that's what he wants. It's going to become worse. This time, Cardi B wasn't a helpless onlooker. At the height of Blueface's stardom, she supported his career by putting him on the Theana remix, which raised his profile. In front of millions of people, Blueface's reversal and criticism of her marriage was nearly Shakespearean. He was setting up a match under Cardi's personal life when she, of all people, offered assistance. The link to the French Montana party keeps coming up. Chrisean and Offset were spotted departing together, according to reports. Photos purportedly and they should go to the same after party. As for what came next, there were still whispers, despite the lack of official confirmation at the time. The allegations were sufficient to destroy Cardi and Offset's already fragile marriage. Cardi soon filed for divorce. Do you think this is a coincidence? Some don't, however. Blueface wasn't satisfied with the online commotion easing. He began to openly threaten Offset, claiming that he would degrade him. Offset stated that he might be publicly tapped on the shoulder to let him know he wasn't invincible. Performing the chilly flex demonstrated that Blue was more than just a Twitter chatterbox. He was prepared to act in real life. Offset refuted all the allegations. He vowed never to speak to or even touch Chrisean again and told people that Blueface was insane. The internet, however, laughed louder the more he denied. When it comes to celebrity gossip, this is the unpleasant reality. Denial sounds less like the truth and more like damage control. Once the narrative has gained traction, the silence from Chrisean made matters worse. She didn't say so outright, for several reasons, including attempting to spy on NL Ichoa's baby mama, making fun of his masculinity, and dragging him for his search history. She reacted negatively to Blueface. However, in such circumstances, silence always has greater force than words, and the Offset hookup was no exception. The current disaster has returned to haunt us. In private, Chrisean reportedly acknowledged the hookup and said that she did it in retribution. Take it out on Cardi B, of all people. There's really no way someone could put that piece together. She intended to ruin her marriage, but what had Cardi done to her specifically? Did Cardi harass her in private? Did she turn her down in a work setting? The fresh fuel on this garbage fire is retribution. But no one knows for sure. Since Offset and Chrisean weren't the only things involved, let's pause and consider the whole picture. Devotion, treachery, and the vulnerability of Cardi and Offset's relationship were all discussed. They had previously been the subject of infidelity scandals, public divorces, and persistent rumors during their marriage. Despite cries for Offset to leave on the internet, Cardi had always supported her. But everyone has their breaking point. Furthermore, fans noted Cardi's hasty attempts to distance herself from the Chrisean narrative as it began to circulate. After unfollowing him and making vague remarks about being single on Twitter, she went live and admitted that she had been seeing someone else for some time, but wasn't sure how to express it. The final nail in the coffin was the controversy. On the other hand, Blueface welcomed the mayhem wholeheartedly. He praised the bloggers, made fun of Offset, and exploited the event to gain further notoriety. He thought about dragging Offset as a business matter instead of a personal one. Whenever his name became well known alongside Cardi B and Offset, his brand benefited. He also acknowledged that he will be taking Offset to the circus. In his opinion, Brood had not been deceived. Fun was had. Next up was Wack 100, who kept stoking the fire whenever he could. He didn't hold back when he told Vlad that he knew something about Offset, but decided to keep it to himself out of respect for Cardi. In an attempt to shift the blame for the altercation from Blueface to Wack, he said Offset called him right away. However, Wack claimed he was only guilty of telling the truth. Offset's issue was his incapacity to show a reverence for a monarch like her choice. Rock knew exactly what Blue was saying, which was a regular comment section statement. Someone else commented Offset clapped Blueface's girl's cheeks, and it came out as revenge. Logic is crazy in 2024. Chrisean has never refuted it, which is arguably the most damning assertion. Offset possesses.